What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Yesterday, when the Six Samurai link and the Magibullet link dropped, I gave a word of warning, and it seems to go relatively ignored as expected, as we do see buyouts. Now, what is my word of warning as we look at these upped prices for Caspar, up $5 with only 4 prices online, Starfire actually not moving too much at all, impressively, and Kizaru starting to spike up as well. My word of warning is, where are our Link Vrains 1 cards that are still missing? Some of the most anticipated and best ones. Our Aromage Plant Link, where's that? Where's Cherubini? Where's Needle Fiber? It seems to me that a lot of people just saw this, got hyped, and went to get it, and I feel the true fans already had this, and some of these are going to be targeted by vendors, of course, and others who were kind of sleeping might have sold the deck and want to go back and get it. But overall, I think the intent of the buyout is to make money, and you're going to look at a very low sales rate and multiple volleys at this in order to do so. And while the quantity may not replenish the best, the fact that there's already, 29 copies at $15 by Phantasm Gaming kind of just tells the story that you're going to be pushing a lot of money to try to even make this go up, and you're going to try to ride a hype train that just may not come for years. So do hold your expectations for banking on this real hard. I mean, if you were actually spending 10 anyways and the relist is at 15, what's your actual profit margin after shipping and TCG player fees? Big yikes, big oofs, but these people were obviously ready to relist, so you're gonna have to spend multiple volleys. And oh, look at this on eBay, $12 and then 15 and then 17, etc. So we do see that it's a little more evened out already than you might anticipate. It's not the most ham buyout ever, but at the same time, the word of warning stands. Now, if I were going for Six Samurai stuff, I'd be actually looking at perhaps Gateway, which is at, the card that can be searched at 20 cents with 58 total prices. That's actually not the most, although I'm sure there's some pretty insane quantities for the Spirit Warriors version, which is a good super rare. The SOVR will have the foiling problem with it, but yeah, plenty of them available for you to go out and look up and get for under 50 cents. And Japan has this at what? At 3, you're telling me. So there are implications that our ban list could actually see this also rise, and if it peels off the ban list, you best bet you're looking at about a $3 card at least, especially with the anticipation of the link. So people are looking more upwards than down, and if we actually scroll down the page for Spirit Warriors, of course, Fuma's probably going to get slow hype off of this, and Hatsume might follow, it'll get played, but you see Shein, kind of the penny stocks that I told you guys to look at a while back for Six Samurais, such as Shein. We also have Kizon, I believe the first holo variant of our blue guy, the red and blue loop that might be really good with Gateway. They're all still around dollars, and really waning quantities overall, just naturally over time. So those are kind of the cards I would actually look at if I'm participating in a buyout or just slowly grabbing cards in anticipation for the link, rather than the top-heavy ones that are going to fluctuate and fall down and take a lot of effort to keep up. Just get the ones that will rise naturally. Is that weird? Is that what you might do? Shein's Dojo is actually front page kind of $1.50, $1.70, isn't it? I don't know that it's on here. I was kind of surprised actually to see Shein's Dojo from Spirit Warriors over $1 already. So that's another Bushido counter card you can get if you already happen to have your one Gateway as is currently in the TCG, but we have no telling where that's going to go. So that's kind of, after last night, the fallout from everything. And again, word of warning, who knows when we'll get it. People are going to try to flip their money in the meantime. Just ignore it and try to get it during one of the low points if you're truly interested in you for whatever reason didn't already have this. And like I said, we have plenty of warnings. Look at Evil Thorn. Remember that $3 hype? What happened to that? A lot of wasted money and people getting things that never came. What happened with TG Wonder Magician? Oh, the ultimates are still up. Good for you guys. Still waiting and holding on to that. What happened to the ultras that everybody grabbed that were above like $8, $10? Oh, well, you say that failed because there was a reprint, almost as if it was an anticipation for the players down the road, and we still haven't gotten it Oh, now a lot of you guys said you enjoyed suggestion reviews. So I have a couple of more so penny stocks for you guys to watch. I actually don't know what this tab is. Just the set. So Giant Rex is the first one that I've noticed is relatively cheap, and you have people listing lower than realistically what it's worth. It only has its one printing, and it's at $1.20. And we do see that Dino Thunder Dragons may be the future for Thunder Dragons should we get hits to it on our F and L list. So something to highly consider. The dinosaur engine itself is relatively good. This sees play in a lot of rank 4 spam decks, and I think has a higher ceiling after certain ban lists to see play. And of course, double evolution pill, you also plus off of banishing this for that. So Giant Rex, definitely one of the cards I would be watching. 55 prices is not the most on a market with thousands of watchers, so something to consider getting sooner than later. Also, Minerva, the Exalted Lightsworn, is at her lowest price, I think pretty much ever, $350. I need about $350. So we do see it quickly rise to 4. But I would just have a word of warning. This prize card that was had such a huge impact on the game. You would call it Minerva Sworn because Minerva was a prize card and the only people topping with it were Minerva. This is still going to find its way into formats in the future, I believe. So you're going to see people end up making it mill decks will eventually have their time once again. Get it while it's cheaper. Even if it gets reprinted, Secret Rare is going to look nicer than most things and rarities that it would get put into. We have Magician of Faith from Duelist Saga. I've actually noticed a lot of Duelist Saga cards rising, and this has a very low quantity of sellers overall, only 2 pages. And we see a couple here at $1.25 if you're buying other things from them. And it quickly rises to 2 where, you would have to buy it outright from them. But Magician of Faith from Duelist Saga, I've noticed Duelist Saga in general. Look at this. Black Luster Soldier, of course, has his reasons. Vion has his reasons. But stuff like Rescue Cat, Veiler, even Imperial Order, Dark Law, everything's just going up over time. Even Advanced Ritual Art, of all things, towards that $4 mark. So over time, it feels like Duelist Saga has actually been really solid, and Magician of Faith is one of those cards that I could easily see being $3 for past formats. It's a decent-looking version of it for goats, etc., and relatively low quantity, so get yours sooner than later. But yeah, Duelist Saga is actually doing surprisingly solid for its cards overall, and I like that. The Phantom Knight Secret Rares. I'm not just talking about for Cherubini. I think the PK Hero engine, should Malicious live, is highly underestimated, and all the PK Secret Rares have fallen back just a little bit to where you can get them really cheap, especially getting them from multiple sellers. Look at the WAD collection. It has 3. You could just buy right now. Cheapest online. We also have Silent Boots falling back down to earth a little bit, and we have Ancient Cloak. Not too long ago, these were bubbling towards 3. I thought they might even go towards 5. I would highly suggest them myself because the PK Hero engine itself might be one of the strongest post-ban lists should Malicious live, and even without Malicious, the PKs have a pretty decent ability to go through formats similar to Burning Abyss, and I could see them making their way back into certain formats or metas. So highest rarity version of them, definitely something that was bought out once already. I could see it getting multiple volleys. Have yours sooner than later. It's very, very inexpensive to fully foil it out. And of course, you do have your budget options for you guys looking that probably won't go up anytime too soon, thanks to that legendary deck. So you can't be complaining if these go up, right? You have budget options as well. Solemn Judgment from Relentless Revenge under $1? That's pretty crazy to me. Having $1 Solemn in general is something I would stock up on, especially just imagine if it peels off the ban list like the OCG did too, but even as a one-of is very powerful, and most Solemns over time tend to go up. Just another kind of penny stock to keep your eye on. And what's our final tab here? Yes, Miracle Contact. With only its 2 printings, I've noticed the second one hanging around that $2 mark. I would definitely go ahead and think about it, because I've actually played against some Neos decks that are interesting on Dueling Book, and it seems like they gave it one huge push. Is Konami gonna leave it just there? And over time, Miracle Contact itself could be an in-demand card, as with Return of the Duelist, it hung up at a very high price forever till this reprint. I could see over time the reprint itself going up too, and there's only 20 prices for it, not many copies on the market either, which speaks to the demand of that heart of the GX player. Oh man, get your game on, kids. But yeah, those are some suggestions from me. Let me know what you thought about suggestion watch, because I do think there's a lot of cards out here on the market that are heavily undervalued, are relatively cheap, with low quantities on the market, which speaks for their demand, that are bubbling and mayhaps about to go up, that you guys should consider sooner than later. That's just my take on it, though. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Obviously, my YouTube versus the quantities has dashed my chances, and I was waiting to spend my $2 on these cards. You had your time. That's my opinion, though. So, subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the overall conversation. What do you think about the Musket and Six Samurai buyouts? Is the hype deserved for not knowing when we're getting them? And let me know about the suggestions, and if you'd like to see other cards suggested similar to this in the future. I personally enjoy doing it, and I have no vested investment in any of those cards I suggested. I like just doing it for you guys.